Meta just shipped its first real coding agent, Muse Code, built on a new model called Muse Spark 1.2, and it's going straight after Claude Code and OpenAI's Codex. Here's the hook. It can be up to 250 times cheaper than the competition. But that discount comes with a catch buried in the pricing page. And today, we're breaking down exactly what you're trading away to get it, plus where this thing actually falls short. Let's get into it. Imagine handing your entire proprietary, unreleased app codebase straight over to Meta so they can train their next AI on it. And I mean, without even realizing it, that is exactly what thousands of developers might do this week.
Yeah, it's the ultimate trap, really, for lean teams on a budget. So today in our morning deep dive, we are stripping away the hype around this new tool to figure out if it's actually a miracle for you as a solo creator, or if that incredibly cheap price tag comes with a massive hidden cost.
Right, because Meta is, coming out swinging here. They're claiming their new Muse Code AI can handle development tasks for roughly 2 cents a pop.
Which is wild.
Totally wild. But I guess before we get to how they are actually subsidizing that, we should talk about whether the tool can actually write decent code.
Well, it's a completely different beast structurally. Muse Code is a terminal-based agent for Mac and Linux, so that means it lives right in your command line rather than, in a separate browser window. And it's powered by their new Muse Spark 1.2 model.
Okay.
But the real shift, the thing that makes it special, is that it uses persistent background agents.
Okay, let's break that down for a second, because most coding AI, it spins up, looks at your prompt, spits out some code, and then effectively dies, right?
Yeah.
It loses object permanence.
Yeah, normally as a project drags on, the AI's active memory, like its context window, fills up, and it just completely forgets the start of your project.
Right, which is super frustrating.
Oh, incredibly. But Muse Code solves this by keeping these agents alive in the background through your whole session, and it maintains a local event log of every single action, tool run, and edit.
Wait. Okay, let me unpack this. So it's basically like hiring a junior developer who never sleeps.
Right.
Right? And they can work on side quests in parallel without breaking your main project, and they keep a perfect diary. So instead of trying to cram the whole history of an app into its active memory, it just reads its own diary entries.
That's the exact mechanism, yeah. It can instantly recall what it changed 5 hours ago. It completely eliminates that context loss problem that usually, kills complex AI coding jobs. If your machine crashes, it just reads the log and picks up exactly where it left off.
Oh, wow. But hold on. Maintaining a persistent background agent that remembers that usually burns through massive amounts of compute.
Oh, absolutely.
So how on earth is Meta funding this for literally 2 cents a task?
Right. So that is where the pricing tiers come in. The standard tier for Muse Spark 1.2 is actually priced normally. It's $1.25 per million input tokens. But by default, they start you on what's called the contributor tier.
Okay.
And that one is drastically cheaper. It's just 10 cents per million tokens.
Wait, I need a frame of reference here. What does a million input tokens actually look like in practice?
In practical terms, it's roughly 3,000 pages of code.
You're kidding.
Nope. On the contributor tier, you are getting all of that processed for less than the price of a gumball.
Okay, but $1.25 for 3,000 pages is still incredibly cheap. Why would any developer in their right mind risk their IP on this contributor tier just to save $1? Is the open source community actually falling for this?
They are, yeah, because of friction. It's not buried deep in some obscure settings menu. The contributor tier is the default mode the very second you launch the agent.
Oh, so you just click go and you're in it.
Exactly. And on that tier, Meta explicitly uses your code and your prompts to train their future AI models. So if you're rushing through client work or building an app under an NDA, you could accidentally leak an entire proprietary code base straight to Meta servers just by leaving that default switch on.
Yikes. Here's where it gets really interesting though. If I have to actively manage my privacy settings and pay standard market rates to protect my client's data, the actual code it generates needs to be top tier. So does it hold up against what we already have?
Well, it depends on the task. For complex logic and heavy backend architecture, Independent benchmarks show it actually still trails competitors like Claude Opus 5 and GPT 5.6 Terra.
Okay, so not the best for the heavy lifting.
Right. But when you move to multimodal tasks where the AI processes different types of inputs like video and text together, Muse code is just undeniably incredible.
Give me an example of what you mean by multimodal in this context. Like, how does that look?
So in one of their official proofs, they literally fed the agent a raw fly-through video of a lake house.
So a normal video.
Yeah, just a video. And Muse code analyzed the visual style from the video and built a fully functional booking website to match that exact aesthetic.
Wait, really? Just from a video?
Just from the video. It is a massive leap for visual decode generation.
Okay, so it's brilliant at the surface level, but maybe struggles a bit deep in the weeds with the logic, which honestly completely changes the calculus for solo developers. You can't just set up a default agent and let it rip anymore. You have to actively route your workflow.
Exactly. The practical takeaway here is you use that dirt cheap contributor tier for prototyping, learning new frameworks, and generating like throwaway UI code based on videos.
Right, the fun stuff.
Yeah, but the second you touch sensitive client data or proprietary backend logic, you absolutely have to flip that switch to the standard tier, or just route the task to a competitor.
You're picking the right agent task by task, which really points to a pretty wild shift in how we work.
Yeah.
I mean, as tools like Muse Code make raw code generation incredibly cheap and sometimes virtually free, perhaps your true value as a solo creator is shifting.
Completely shifting. It's a fundamental pivot. The actual technical execution is just becoming a commodity at this point.
Right, so your real worth is now tied entirely to how you protect, architect, and orchestrate your core business secrets. You might not always be paying with cash anymore, but you still have to decide exactly what your ideas are worth because someone is always paying for it. That's Meta's Muse code in a nutshell. Cheap, ambitious, and not quite there yet. If you're testing it yourself, remember, the contributor tier trains on your code by default, so keep client work off it. If this saved you some research time, drop a comment and let us know what you're building with it. Hit like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's episode. See you then.